So we're going to install DHCP today. So we're going to go up to our server manager, because this is where we do all of our roles and services, right? Our roles and features. And I'm going to do this on DC2 for now, okay? Just so it has something to do. And I'm going to keep it on role-based and feature-based. DC2. And then I'm going to go to the DHCP server right here. I'm just going to click on it. Add the features, and then I'm just going to next my way through here. Restart if needed. And I'm going to let that do its thing. So that's done. Yay. I'm going to close. So you'll notice every time we're done installing something, if there's more to do, our little flag up here gives us a, hey, look at me. We're going to go up there and we're going to complete the DHCP configuration here. So pretty much all we got to do is authorize it. So we're going to click next. And it's going to authorize it to the Contoso. We're that Contoso administrator. We're using our credentials to authorize it with our domain. So this is one of those questions we're kind of looking at yesterday. If it wasn't working, you maybe didn't do this part. Done and done. That's good. So we created a security group for the DHCP and authorized DHCP server. So we can hit close, and now it's ready to go. So now that it's there, it's happy. So now we can go up here to tools. Let me see what you guys are typing over here, because it's... So come over here to tools and hit DHCP. And this is going to have which ones of our servers have DHCP on them. So we haven't set up a scope or anything yet, so this is going to be yellow. It says, hey, you haven't actually set this stuff up yet. So we're using a class A, right? So we're in 10.0.0.10 for DC1 and .20 for DC2. So we got to keep that in mind when we go in here. So I'm going to drop that. So actually, let me show you something. Let me close that really quick. So something that might confuse you as you're going through here, and you're going to forget this after I tell you. If you right click on this, right, it's gray. You have to drop the arrow down first. And then it actually lets you do stuff. I don't know why that is, but all of these are like that. If you don't drop the arrow, you don't expand the tree, it won't let you do the stuff right here, okay? But now that I've dropped it, and if I bring it back up, it's all there, right? So, good old Microsoft programming. Just so you know, you might be trying to do something and you haven't dropped that yet, and you're like, it's not letting me click. Well, drop it, drag it top. Yep. So we're going to do an IPv4 scope. So right now, there's nothing here. Everything's going to be empty. Trying to get this pulled over here. Let me just make this whole thing bigger. There we go. So right here, nothing, nothing, nothing. So we're going to come up to IPv4. We're going to right click in it, and we're going to do a new scope, okay? We're going to click on that. Now we're going to start going through our new scope wizard. You guys, you should have done this if you've gone through lesson 4, so this shouldn't be the first time you've seen this. I'm going to go next. So we want to name it. So let's just call this workstation. Is there a space in workstation? There's not going to be for mine. I'm just going to put workstation scopes. I'm going to hit next. So here's where we're going to pick what we're going to hand out in between this range and that range. So we're at 10.10, well, 10.0.0.1. So let's put ours in a different group altogether so that we don't have to worry about them being anywhere near our servers, right? So what do you guys think? We do like a 10.10.1. Start off with that. Then all our servers will be in Snake Eyes 10, Snake Eyes 20, and we can put all our server stuff in that area of our virtual subnet space. Okay, cool. Your non-answers are wonderful. So I'm just gonna hit my number lock. I'll just do 10.10.10.1 for the beginning of our subnet mask. Well, of our scope. These are what we're gonna hand out to workstation computers. And I'll do 10.10.10. What's the biggest number I can put right here? There's only so many bits, right? So what's my biggest number? Almost. So this right here, configuration settings that are propagated to DHCP clients. So this is our subnet mask, right? So what's this number? This one that says length. What's this 8 right here represent? Well, that represents 8 bits, technically. I'm looking for a specific name. It has something to do with this subnet mask right here. This is an octet right here. CIDR. This is your CIDR number. So this many bits equal that value in decimal, right? So if I flip this up one, so CIDR /9, the very first bit is worth 128 bits, right? So our first bit in each octet, the very first one's worth 128, right? So what do we add on to that if we make this CIDR /10? So the first one's 128. So if we add 64 to 128, what do we get? Probably that number right there. Add 32 to that number. 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, and then we start all over. So then we become, so that's the end of a class B, right? Class A, class B. Then we start all over. Going from left to right. That's all those numbers are, is the values of those bits. The first bit left to right here. So again, 128 plus 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Left to right. So we'll just leave this on a class A just so we're not playing around. They can see we have a massive network. We're good to go. We don't need to chop it up. We're going to have 3 computers. Come on. So I'm going to hit next on that. This is what I'm going to put it in here. So we're going to be able to hand out IP addresses from .1 to .255. So the mask means you can't see outside of that range. So if we had 10.10.11.1 people on this network, well, we're not going to hand out IP addresses on that. They can see it because we're not masking it. But if we had like 11, we wouldn't be able to see that. So if that number changes, we can't see anything in that. It's masked out. We can't see it. I almost explained that wrong. I fixed myself. All right, so this one is exclusions. So what would we want to leave out? So say if we wanted to reserve a certain range for servers, for printers, for adding stuff later, we'd put it right here. We're not going to do that because we don't need we're just going to show how this works really quick. I'm going to hit next. So every DHCP has a lease. default is 8 days. After 8 days, your lease is expired, and we're going to throw you out of your house. You didn't pay our rent. Sorry. You get a brand new one. And it can renew it before that, but it will expire in 8 days. So your IP address will change every 8 days, possibly. Sometimes it'll just give you the same IP address you already have. This is important, like if you're like at a Starbucks or something, because you have people coming in and out, and everybody's getting on your network, but they're only stay for like 30 minutes, an hour, and they're gone. And it's random people all day. So if you only had 200 to hand out and you had over 200 customers coming in, you ran out of IP addresses because you're not renewing them sooner. So you can set this to hours, minutes. So they have to have a new IP address every few minutes. You actually see that happen at a lot of the restaurants and places you go to, or like the airport. You log on and then it asks you to log in again 30 minutes later or 15 minutes later because it just renewed your IP address, and you have to go in. It's like, are you paying for internet? No? Okay, use our free internet. And then it just keeps renewing your IP address and kicking you out and making it annoying so that you have to pay for it so it doesn't kick you out anymore. But this is just, it's a lease, like a lease to your house. So you can hit next on that. And then now we're going to set up gateway. We don't have to, we don't got one, but I'm going to show you because it's a pain to get to this after. So yes, I want to configure these options now. I'm going to hit next. So if we had a gateway, so this would be our router. This is how we get out of our network. This is how we get internet. We would put that address right here. We don't have one, so I'm not going to put it in here. So here is where we'd put some more DNS server information. We already have 10.0.0.10, and for some reason, .20 is in here twice. That's weird, isn't it? I'm just going to remove that one time. So these are our two DNS servers that's on our network. So it's going to give this out to people when they get their IP address. It's going to be one of the things that automatically hands out and sets up for them, primary and secondary. The 10.0.0.10 and the 10.0.0.20. So we also know these as DC1, DC2, correct? And then our parent domain, our domain is contoso.com. That's our very top of the level. That's our domain. We can have child domains, just like we had child hard drives. So we had a parent hard drive when we set up DC1 and DC2, and our DC1 and DC2 are actually childs. Their hard drives are a child of the base image that we made, which was the parent. So these domains can work very similar, where all the domains underneath Contoso have to do all the permissions that Contoso has, but then they can have their own permissions even more tightened up. So you can have, our main one could be contoso.com, but then we can have like austin.contoso.com, colleen.contoso.com. So all our different locations, and then we can break it up even more region. So it can go fairly far left to right. So remember, the parent, the very beginning of any web address or any domain is on the right-hand side. So we're going, was it, who does right to left when they read? Is that China or... I don't remember. It is the Matrix. Arabic? Okay. So I'm going to hit next on here. Again, this is just our DNS information that's going to hand out. We don't have a Win server. So we don't need this because this is pre-domains and everything. We don't need to deal with Win servers. So we're going to hit next. And do I want to activate my scope now? Yes, I do. If we don't activate it, this is another reason why people wouldn't get IP addresses. So that question we were looking at yesterday, that's why I said it was either no, we didn't activate this authorize it on the domain, or this wasn't turned on. Either way, it wouldn't work. So when I hit next, I'm going to finish. And now right here is green. See that little itty bitty. See if I can zoom in. Come on. All right, in front of it. Come on. So that little green dot says, hey, this is all working. And this says it's working. So right now we have Dhcp on our network. But we need a workstation, don't we? We need someone that we can test this on, because in our labs and everywhere in there, you don't actually test it, do you? You install it, you do it, and it tells you yay or nay. Next, right? We don't want that. We want to actually see this working, right? So let me unzoom this so we get to have a little bit of fun today, okay? I'm going to minimize that because that is set up exactly how I want it right now. I'm going to minimize my virtual machine because I want a new virtual machine, okay? I just feel that way. We'll just go new really quick, and we're just going to... Actually, we have our base, don't we? Right? We'll just create a test bench, okay? And I'll edit this later. Sorry about that. I had a plan in my head, but it found a speed bump. We'll just do a test bench, generation 2. This guy can be fast, so let's just give him 2048 for this guy. Use dynamic. Next. It's not going to matter if he's activated. Now let's activate him first. Let's just get in the habit of doing that. Attach a hard disk later. Next. Finish. So you guys should know how to do this part, right? We're going to go into settings. We're going to use that same base image that we did earlier. So right there. Hard drive. Add. New. Next. Difference in. It's just going to save us time. Then I'll get the ISO ready for you guys for later. Use that as our parent. Okay, I'm going to turn that one on. So what did I forget to do? Did I hit apply? I know a lot of you went to this screen when you guys were doing this the first time. Let me turn it off. It was right there. So I didn't do this part, changing the firmware, the boot order. So I'll move that up and apply. And let me go back in there. Let's just make sure I fix that. Now it should boot off of our hard drive. Round and round and round we go. There we go. I need to type twice. Oh my gosh. There we go. 3 different ways to do control delete. All right, so this is just like all our other ones. When we do a clean install, we hit yes on that, right? And then we make sure it's activated, right? I can wait for that, or I could probably just right click here and say refresh, and it'll be there on the desktop. Or on our local server, we just go over here, we swipe right, or slide right, I guess is what it would be. That one right there should say activated. It's activated, so I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to put this back on the network that we just built. Shut it down. Go to our settings. Put that on private. Turn her back on. So this should say that it's on the proper network when it turns on. It should have an IP address. It should not have an IP PIPA 169. It's not going to have internet because we don't have internet on our servers. So on our new network, it said contoso.com. You see that? So we know it's working. So if I come down here, I'm on contoso.com. So our DHCP is working because it's giving us the name right there. And just to do our backbone double check up here, we'll go into our PowerShell and we'll just type ipconfig/all, right? Our favorite command. And we should have in that range that we told to give out. So going through it, IP address 10.10.10.1 preferred, our very first one. Subnet mask 255.0.0.0. Our release was obtained Friday, May 29th at 6:27:23 seconds p.m. And it is good until June 6th, 2020 at 6:27:23 p.m. DHCP server is 10.0.0.20. DHCP v6, we don't have one, so it's given us just the little ID number here. Our DNS servers are 10.0.0.10 or 10.0.0.20, primary and secondary. So everything that we just set up in there is functioning. And that's all there is to setting up a DHCP on the basic level. You guys have any questions on that, or did I completely lose you all? Yep, you lost us. You lost us. We're gone. Oh, that's not the one I want to close. I crossed you? What did I do? You gonna kill me now? That's not very nice. I crossed you. You crossed the line, sir. I'm gonna go in here really quick. So all our information also right there. Why it's doing doubles on that, I couldn't tell you. But it won't cause any issues. Begin right here. That lease, right there. Lease expires, right there. We don't have a default gateway right now. And our DHCP is enabled. And then if I come up here to properties, you'll see obtain an IP address automatically and obtain a DNS server address automatically. So if you wanted to have like a DNS server that was closer to you, you can come in here and you can change this to a known DNS server, and then it'll send you into the location of whatever's closest to you. So some things in here you can go in there and do yourself. So, and then there's alternate ones where you can use these ones also on the side if these ones aren't working. So it goes any more in depth, but this is just the basics. I'm gonna hit close, close, close. So this is gonna be our test bench. So let's make this look like a regular computer, okay? Kind of like your host one. I can't think right now. So what I did to make your host one actually act like Windows 8.1 and give you more features is you can come in here. And we're going to go down to GUI stuff. Was it this page? No, next page is a feature. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. User interface right here. There's also where we can make this core. So our graphical management tools and our server graphical shell. That's what makes us in GUI mode right now. Desktop experience is what would make this Windows 8.1. So if I add that to it, actually let me undo that. Oh, it's not going to ask it twice, is it? Well, it gives you your Windows Media Player and all your Windows 8 features. So we're just going to use this as a test bench. So when we set up stuff and we set up different user accounts, we can use this to actually test out if it's actually functioning out there, not just on our server. So we're not going to use this as a server. We're going to use this just as a little test station to practice on. So right now we're in our network, right? But we're not on the domain. We're on the domain network, but we can't see resources or anything on it. So we're going to have to join that domain now, okay? And we're going to do this the way we would do it on Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8. We're not going to use that server manager. Let me close that because that's going to do what it does. So if we come up here, server manager properties, I'm going to say do not show server manager automatically anymore. I don't want this to pop up when I log into here. It's not my happy place. So this should restart if it needs to. Watch me have to go back in there. Watch me have to do it. So now we have DC1, DC2, and a test bench. So now when you're creating users, you're changing security policies, you'll log into this with the user you created and see if those policies actually worked. So hopefully each day we get to add something new to our lab and see it do something, okay? All right, let me go back in there. I don't know if I have to reset it or not for what I just did. I will, but I want to look at that little flag. Dum, 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 dum. And I'm almost done, and then you'll have the rest of the day. But now we're ahead of AM class, okay? Think we can make them eat our dust? Huh? AM class, hope you're watching this video. Nobody's gonna write? Nobody? There's also where you can get Windows for free at home. Wink, wink. There we go. We got sniper tread on, huh? Did it already reset, or is it just stuck on that screen? No, it's stuck on that screen. Why is the clock ticking? If it's stuck on that screen, why is the clock still moving? Nope, it's still doing something behind that screen. It's still putting stuff in there. Here we go. Now we'll have the theme options that you guys have on Big Red on this one. That's what I did on here, so this would look a little bit more friendly. I might re-record this tomorrow, so it doesn't have all the extra stuff in it, but I'll put it up there for now for you guys. All right, cool. So this is still a local login. There's no designator on it. It doesn't say Contoso. So now we're going to join the domain. We're going to log in here. I'm going to take this to full screen. There we go. Hello? All right. Be that way. We'll get you later. So we want to go through the system. So we're going to come up here through Control Panel. And System and Security. We want to go there. And we're going to click on System. This is where we want to join the domain. We can also change our computer name. This is kind of where that shortcuts us to from that server manager. And it takes us into here automatically. That's all it is a shortcut into these links in the server manager. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to call this just test. I'm going to go to domain. And our domain is Contoso, right? Contoso. That'll look right. Yes, it was right. .com. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to ask me for my credentials. It says Contoso.com right there, so we should be good. Now, it might flip. So let me do administrator. It's not how you type it. I think I spelled it right. And then server 123. And it's going to authorize us to become a member of that domain. It says welcome to Contoso.com. So now when it restarts, now we're going to be under the control of the domain. Right now we're just local. We're under whatever our computer's set as. I'm going to hit close and then restart now. When we come back on, now we're going to be using domain login credentials. Right now we only have admin, right? So right here, you don't want to do that one, okay? Our computer is named test. That's local login right here. You're already past IT fundamentals. A plus is way beyond IT fundamentals. Your school's offering what you signed up for. You got A plus, Network plus, Security plus, Windows Server MCSA 410, 411, 412, Linux plus. I already said Linux plus. And I think that's it. But I have the books and everything for it, so wink, wink. I never showed you this, okay? I swear, that's not something I'm working on my own, okay? So here we got the Contoso, so I want to do administrate. Now, if I hit the R, it might kick me to the local administrator. Watch. See that? Delete the R, Contoso. Put the R, it's saying test. So we want to say at contoso.com. And now we're logged into this computer. This computer is just a workstation right now. It has no features, no roles. It's not doing anything for our network. It's now a member of our domain. No. Didn't I tell this not to open this? I know I told it not to open this. All right. So now we're on a workstation. This is not a domain controller. It's not DC1. It's not DC2. I'll go to local since it decided to open this up for us. We are on contoaster.com now. Test. Enable. We got DHCP and everything's working just fine.